Hello world, Brian Lovelace here, back with part 2 for my Code Compare Tip Calculator how-to series. Today we're going to take those two files, the index.html and the tip.js, and we're going to post them on a GitHub repository. We're going to make a live page out of that, so it's a real website your friends and family can visit on any electronic device connected to the internet. And I'm going to show you how to add CSS to your page so you can style, change the color, change the background, change the font, make it yours, put your flavor on it. So we're going to start by making an empty GitHub repository. There are hundreds, if not thousands to millions of tutorials on Git and GitHub. So I'm going to assume you know a little bit about that. But what we're going to do is click right here, make a new repository. Essentially, when you do this and publish your page through GitHub Pages, it's going to be your GitHub username .github.io/whatever this repository name is. So don't put anything too crazy in here. Make sure you're descriptive so that people can easily identify what's going on. So this is the demo page for Tip Calc. And no one's used that before, specifically me. You can't have multiple repositories named the same thing, so got to come up with a unique name each time. We're not worried about any of this, readmes or licenses. Again, there are billions, potentially, tutorials out there. So, easy way to do it. Maybe not the best, but the easy way. Copy this. You click right there, and that copies it. Go to the terminal. Where are we at? We're going to get to our desktop, and we're just going to put it right there so it's easy to have access. And it will be able to tell when we look right here. And haha, demo page for Tip Calc. So we're going to open up our tip demo folder from last time, and we just want the file, so we're not going to move the whole folder in there. Now in the first video I misspoke. Before you do this, make sure your index.html file is a lowercase I, little I. Capital index won't work. So we simply drag those files into there, and I'm going to take a quick pause while my Mac moves them around. Hey, all right. So now we're got those moved in. We can move into the folder. I am using Z shell, oh my zish, in terminal, so that's how we know. And we are now in a Git repository on the master branch. For this simple, basic website I've got you all creating, there is no reason to get too fancy. So we're just going to simply git add all with that command and git commit. I like to start mine with something like the bones when I have the folder structure set up or the empty files, and we simply push to GitHub. If you wanted to get more fancy, after git push you can put the origin and the branch name. If you are working on a group project, there's a whole lot of rules, so do not follow this for that. This is simply for your own personal project you are the only one working on. So we can go back here on the page, and you will see when we refresh we've got our two files. Excellent. So in the meantime, we can go back to terminal and open up our handy dandy code editor. While that's cooking in the background, and I'm sure it'll pop up in the way, the easiest thing to do in the repository, click on settings, and you scroll down about halfway once that page loads up, and all you have to do under the merge, under the archives, right here, GitHub Pages. Project pages are unlimited, as long as you don't have anything disgusting or mean on there. No get-rich-quick schemes. I'm not trying to make any money. No business sites. You can make as many tip calculator sites as you want. Alright, so we click Save. We're going to use the master branch since that's the only branch. Site is ready to be published. Now, there's going to be a slight delay while GitHub makes sure we're not violating any copyright or other laws. So while we're waiting on them to check us out, we're going to go right here. And we've got index and tip, so we just need one more for style. So why not call it style CSS? We'll give it a minute to catch up. There we go. We see our style CSS. So what I like to do is the asterisk, which accesses the whole page. Your CSS goes in curly brackets. And my favorite thing to do is simply change the background color to one of the default. You can type green, blue, red. There's a bunch built in. And now we're going to link our CSS style sheet to our index.html file. So I've got a little ahead of the game and clicked the link already in there. So what you want to add is the relationship. It is a style sheet. The href, which tells it where to find it. Since we're right in the same folder, we don't need any dots or dashes. And last thing to add is the type. It is a text or CSS file. Bada bing. That should be it. Some quick auto formatting. Thanks, Prettier. And remember from the first video, when you copy the path and open a new tab in your favorite browser, you can paste and go and see what your site looks like before you deploy, so you don't get caught off guard. Now, as long as this pops up with a green background, hey, we're cooking in business. All right. So now we've got our style sheet all linked up. We can change that and access some of the elements. I know our H4s are looking a little small. I know we want our inputs to be a little bigger. See how that looks. And let's see. Body. What's a good color? How about orange? Halloween's coming up. And that'll change the text to white. Should make it easy to see. So let's test it out. Oh, wow, that's huge. We want to make sure we access our answer. I believe that div down at the bottom. And easy class name, ID, where is it? Tip amount, there we go, tip amount. That's what we're hunting. And mouse is scrolling wild today, folks, I tell you what. So, because that is an ID, simply starts with that. Tip amount. Make sure we got that correct. No, we did camel case it. Let's make it a little bigger. And Why not? Get fancy with it. All right. So again, just a quick check. Our basic 100, 220 should show us 20. That's not too bad. Let's go ahead and give it a little flavor. Border. About a 5 pixel solid red. That should draw some attention to it. Whoops. That was the wrong spot. We'll simply snip that out and move it down here. Alright. Now, that looks funky, but that's okay. $55, 20%. What do I tip? There we go. Looking good. Let's add some padding just to fluff it out a little. Okay. So, now let's check back here. Can take a few minutes. Let's go ahead and push our changes. So we get add dot, that adds everything that's been changed. We get commit with good messages so we know. What we've done, we added the style sheet. Push that to our repo. And check back in a few minutes to see if our site is live. All right, everybody. Looks like our changes pushed through successfully. As we can see back on our repo page, our CSS is showing up in the settings page we've got right here. You'll see it's now green with a check mark. Says you're good to go. So if we open that up, we should see some orange and white, big and bright. There we are. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got yourself an actual website. How about that? Easy as pie. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned while I show you in the next videos how to do a tip calculator in Java and in Python.